In this session, I will discuss adding boundary layers in Fluent Meshing software. In this session, we want to explain why we use boundary layers, how to generate a boundary layer mesh using the Add Boundary Layers option in Fluent Meshing, and the different methods for boundary layers. First, we answer the question, why do we use boundary layers? When fluid flows over a solid surface, its velocity at the wall becomes zero due to the no-slip condition. As we move away from the wall, the velocity gradually increases until it reaches the free stream value. The region where the velocity transitions from zero to free stream is called the boundary layer. Within this thin layer, steep velocity gradients develop, which are responsible for shear stresses and frictional effects acting on the surface. Accurately capturing the boundary layer is essential in computational fluid dynamics, CFD. Many important physical phenomena, such as drag, lift, flow separation, and heat transfer, occur in this near-wall region. If the mesh near the wall is too coarse, the solver may fail to resolve these steep gradients, leading to inaccurate results. By introducing well-refined boundary layer meshes, CFD simulations can better capture near-wall effects, ensuring more reliable and physically meaningful predictions. The diagram on the left illustrates the velocity gradient within the boundary layer, showing how velocity changes near the wall compared to the uniform free stream flow farther away. The image on the right, from ANSYS Fluent, demonstrates how specialized mesh elements are applied in the boundary layer region. These thin, structured mesh layers allow the solver to resolve velocity and temperature gradients with higher precision than a uniform bulk mesh would. In summary, boundary layers are added in meshing to ensure that the most critical part of the flow, the near-wall region, is properly resolved. Without them, important details such as wall shear stress, turbulence effects, and heat transfer rates may be missed. Refining the mesh in this zone enables the accurate capture of essential flow physics, improves engineering predictions, and leads to more stable and efficient CFD solutions. We create the geometry and space-claim software for the domain, and we define and name the selection for inlet, outlet, sidewalls, flow zone, and solid zone. Then we open Fluent Meshing software and import the geometry. After that, we update the local sizing, generate the surface mesh, describe the geometry as both fluid and solid, and update the boundaries and regions. Next, we go to the Add Boundary Layers option. Next, we go to the Add Boundary Layers section. Here we can answer yes or no to the question, Add Boundary Layers. If the answer is yes, we can create boundary layers with different settings. We can define the name of the layer. In the offset method type, we can choose aspect ratio, last ratio, uniform, or smooth transition. At first, we want to talk about add-in. We can choose fluid regions, solid regions, or named regions. Then, in the Grow On section, we can select only wall, all zone, solid fluid interface, selected zones, or named zone. But in most projects, we mainly use the fluid region and only walls. In the smooth transition method of adding boundary layers, we can select the number of layers. By default, the software selects 3 layers. However, in this project, we insert 10 layers, which means we need 10 boundary layer elements. We do not change the transition ratio, so it remains at the default of 0.272, which control how boundary layer cells grow away from the wall. Unlike the growth rate used in other methods, which is a direct multiplier between successive layers, the transition ratio is defined as the fraction of the last boundary layer cell height relative to the total boundary layer thickness. A lower transition ratio, example 0.1, produces a smoother and denser mesh near the wall with many thin layers, while a higher transition ratio, example 0.4 to zero point 0.5, causes faster expansion and thicker outer cells, reducing cell count but also lowering resolution. The default value of 0.272 represents a balanced growth, where the last cell accounts for about 27% of the total inflation thickness, giving a good compromise between mesh quality and computational cost. And in growth rate, we use default, which is 1.2. This means that each successive layer is 1.2 times thicker than the one before it. For example, the second layer is 1.2 times thicker than the first layer, and the third layer is 1.2 times thicker than the second, and so on. In the boundary layer setup, we select the fluid region and apply it to the walls where boundary layers are needed. Then click on Add Boundary Layer. The software then creates a boundary layer with name Smooth Transition 1. After that, we go to Generate Volume Mesh and click Generate Volume. Here, we can see that the software successfully generated the mesh. When we zoom in around the generated boundary layer mesh, we notice that the quality of the boundary layer is not very good. To improve this, we adjust the face size. For example, we insert a face size of 3 millimeters and generate again with the Pervious Smooth Transition setup. Now, the boundary layer is better than the previous one. Next, we want to edit the Smooth Transition boundary layer again. We go to the Setup, select the Revert and Edit, and change the transition ratio to 0.9. After updating, we regenerate the volume mesh. This time the transition growth is bigger, which creates a coarse mesh. Finally, we can also change the add-in of the boundary layer. Instead of applying fluid region, we can extend it to include the solid zone or region name. Select the solid zone, click Update, and then regenerate the volume mesh. This allows us to compare the mesh quality with different boundary layer configurations. When the mesh generation is complete, we can see that the software created a boundary layer only in the solid zone. However, there is no boundary layer in the fluid region. We go back to the smooth transition setup. This time, we change the Add-in option back to the fluid zone. In the Grow On option, instead of applying only wall type, we can change it to All Zones, which applies boundary layers to all zones. Alternatively, we can use the Select option to assign the boundary layer only to specific zones. For example, in this project, we select only the inlet zone. After selecting the desired zones, we click Update and regenerate the mesh. When the new mesh is created, we observe that there is no boundary layer around the fluid region in general, but there is a boundary layer generated at the inlet surface we selected. Now it is time to talk about the uniform method for boundary layers. In this method, we change the setting from smooth transition to uniform. We can then set the number of layers. For example, in this project, we inserted 10 boundary layers. In the uniform method, we also need to specify the growth rate and the first height parameter. After entering these values, we click Add Layer, then go to Generate Volume Mesh and run the mesh generation. When the software generates the mesh, we can see that the boundary layer appears. However, in this first attempt, the quality of the boundary layer is not good. To improve it, we decrease the value of the first height, for example, reducing it by a factor of about 10. After updating this parameter, we regenerate the volume mesh. Now, we can see that the software has generated a much better boundary layer compared to the previous attempt. Now let us look at the last ratio method for boundary layer generation. In this method, we again specify the number of layers. For example, here we use 10 boundary layers. Similar to the previous methods, we need to set the first height as well as the transition ratio and growth of the layers to control the layers. After entering these parameters, we click Add Boundary Layer. Then go to Generate Volume Mesh and run the meshing process. Once the meshing is complete, we can observe that the software has generated the boundary layers accordingly using the last ratio approach. The final boundary layer generation method is the aspect ratio method. In this approach, we specify the number of layers, for example 10, while also defining an aspect ratio, which is calculated as the surface mesh size divided by the first boundary layer cell height. Additionally, we can set a growth rate, commonly using the default value of 1.2. Once these inputs are provided, we click Add Boundary Layer and then generate the volume mesh. After generation, the software produces a boundary layer mesh based on the specified aspect ratio. To see the effect of this parameter, we can modify the aspect ratio value. For example, changing it from 10 to 1, and then regenerate the mesh. The resulting mesh reveals that when the aspect ratio is too small, the outermost boundary layer cells become excessively large, leading to a poor quality boundary layer distribution. This demonstrates the strong influence of the aspect ratio setting in this method.
I hope this video is helpful for you. To benefit from Mr. CFD's services, including simulation, consultation, and training, visit our website, www.mester-cfd.com. Contact us via info@signmester-cfd.com.